Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I'm your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high-performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. It's a good day today. So, I'm recording this the day before. This will actually go live. So tomorrow, when this goes live, I will actually be driving back to Virginia from Massachusetts. And I was listening to a podcast on the way up here that I really, really loved. And they were talking about some of the books that they've written together, lots of bestsellers. And so I recently started reading this book, 10X is easier than 2X. Really intrigued by it. But nevertheless, today's topic, we're going to talk about reframing our relationship with goals. And this is inspired by the previous podcast episode that I was listening to, because I felt like it's been a little while since I set a goal. And the reason I hadn't set a goal for a long time was because when I didn't hit it, it made me feel really crappy. And so I was avoiding setting goals, just kind of half-assing them, if you will, right? I had an idea in mind, but I wouldn't say I was necessarily pushing towards it because I didn't want to be disappointed if I didn't hit it. And when I was listening to the podcast the other day, they were talking about how to use goals as a tool instead of a measurement of yourself. And I thought, I really love that. I love that so much more than what I've been doing with goals. And maybe you're like me, where you have kind of sworn off setting goals recently because if you didn't hit them, you just didn't feel great about yourself. And so this reframe about using them as a tool to get to where you want to go was really beautiful to me. And so what does that mean? That means if you have a goal to reach $30,000 this month, let's say, right? Then that goal should be your guide as to the decisions that you start to make this month, right? You use it to try to filter out all of the other things, because the truth is we have so many opportunities that come at us. Lots of opportunities, lots of chances, lots of choices and decisions to make throughout the day, that you can use this goal as kind of a filter to filter out the things that won't really matter. And the beauty of that is that you'll get less distracted. And I love that because there's so many things that distract us. And this is one of the key principles that I teach my clients, is this idea of simplicity. Because chances are you're doing a million things more than you need to. And it's just draining your energy. Whereas if you focused on the things you really loved and wanted to do, your impact would grow and you would have more fun and time freedom and financial freedom and relationship freedom and purpose freedom, right? And so simplicity is a key part of the work that I do with my clients. But I love this idea of goal setting, and I'm going to start to incorporate it specifically with my private clients, but absolutely in this upcoming program of Recalibrate. Recalibrate is get clear, get confident, get consistent. And the thing about consistency, or I guess we're going off on a bunch of rabbit trails today. Hang on for the ride. The thing about consistency is that we are all consistent. You're all consistent. None of us lack consistency. The thing that we lack is the intention behind our consistency, right? So my guess is you're really great and very consistent. If you looked back, if you reflected even just for 5 minutes and you thought about, okay, what have I consistently done every day this week? Chances are you checked your social media, checked your email, maybe you played a game on your phone, maybe you read a book, maybe you exercised, maybe you talked to a girlfriend, But chances are there are things that you have done consistently without even thinking about it. And if we were a bit more intentional with what we were consistent about, we were making much more progress towards the things that we actually want in this life, right? So this recalibrate, I can speak, recalibrate program is about getting clear, simplifying where it is that we want to go, gaining the confidence to get there, and then taking consistent action to do it, right? Because what I have found to be true is the principles of that book, the 10x is easier than 2x. I have found that to be true. When I first started my coaching business, I was working it in the nap time hustle. It was less than 10 hours a week, and it didn't take me long to get to 10K months. And the thing that it requires is a perspective shift, because our mind, unless you change that perspective, our mind wants to say, okay, well, if I'm making $5,000 a month, it's going to take me twice as much effort to make $10,000 a month. And while that's true, we don't want to continuously be doubling our efforts. At some point, you want it to begin to be easy and have more time freedom. But we resist it because we're not entirely sure how to do that. But that is part of the process, right? Is one, let's reframe our relationship with goals. Let's use goals to determine what it is that we're actually choosing to do with our day right now. And I will never forget, I was in I had been invited to guest speak in a group, and there was a fitness coach that was talking about how many hours she was working. And I let her finish what she was doing, and then I looked at her and I said, that's a lot of hours. Is that really how you want to grow your business? And she said, well, I'm not making any money right now, and that's what I have to do. And I said, but if that's what you have to do to make some money, then that's what your mind is going to believe you have to do to make a lot of money. And my guess is that you kind of want to make a lot of money, but you don't want to work a lot of hours. And she struggled to wrap her head around the concept. And unfortunately, she burnt out later on with all of those hours. Because she wasn't getting any sort of return on her investment. And that can be one of the biggest hurdles when I work with my clients, when I tell them to work less. Or I say, okay, you want to make X amount of dollars. Well, how many hours do you want to work? And they will come up with an answer, and then they backtrack it very quickly, because they're trying to figure out how to get there with their current efforts. And it's a very different model. Very different model. And so, again, sorry, we're on rabbit trails today. You're just getting this because I was reading the book last night, and I struggled to fall asleep. There were so many ideas and so much information coming through that I was like, why am I even trying to sleep? This is ridiculous, right? But I love that it's been activating for me, and it makes me even more excited for Recalibrate, which starts on Wednesday, on the 30th. We're going to have our first call. The link for that program will be in the show notes, but you can also get it on my Instagram, the link in my bio on Instagram. You can sign up there. It is $14.44 right now. The early bird special has passed, so it is $14.44 to join us, and that is 30 days. And that is an activation program. That is intended to get you to start to think differently, to get to the next levels. Quantum leap, if you will, right? So I'm super excited about it. It's going to be really great because we're going to simplify it. We're going to cut out the BS, take out all the noise, the distractions, and allow you to actually focus on the thing that's going to matter the most. And if you've spent any time with me, you know the thing that's going to matter the most are the things that you actually have fun doing. Yeah. Believe it or not, this process is going to be enjoyable. Is it going to stretch you? Is it going to grow? Is it going to be uncomfortable? Yeah, absolutely. But let's all face it, none of us are truly motivated to change for mediocre things, right? For things that we settle for. Which is so interesting, just full circle moments coming through right now, because I remember my very first blog that I started, oh my gosh, probably 10 years ago. And I always signed it with, don't settle, make your life great. That was my last line of every blog post that I wrote. And it's coming full circle. It's just really interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so takeaways. When it comes to goals, I want you to reframe your relationship with it. If you don't hit a goal, it means nothing about you as a person. Let's use goals as a toolbox to get you to where you want to be. So, come up with an impossible goal, right? One of my mentors would talk about 3 different categories of goals, right? The predictable, the possible, and the potential, right? And the predictable were the goals that we knew we were going to meet no matter what. The possible was a little bit of a stretch, and then the potential were like the super stretch impossible. We weren't entirely sure, but that's really, really, really where we wanted to go, right? And hanging out in that realm of potentiality. And that's a fun place to hang out. Your energy is just like popping. And the sky isn't even the limit there, right? Oh, so many good things. All right, so when it comes to this goal, what I want you to think about is, 1, what is your current relationship with goals? When was the last time you set a goal? When was the last time you achieved a goal? When was the last time you enjoyed the process of going towards a goal? Okay, so think about those 3 things. Write them down, have a conversation with yourself, and then I want you to say, if I was using a goal as a toolkit to get me to this vision, what kind of goal would I have to set? A really big one, I hope. So, if you have any questions, or you're ready to join this Recalibrate program for 30 days, it's going to be fun. Send me a message, find me on Instagram, head over to my website. You can sign up right there. If you're listening to this at whatever hours of the day, right? So I am sending you so much love. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye, love.